Hello students. Now we are going to discuss some synopsis points on application of differentiation. First of all, geometrical meaning of the derivative of a function at a point. Slope of the tangent. You know that slope of the tangent is denoted by dy by dx. The dy by dx is nothing but the rate of change of the function y, the rate of change of the function y with respect to x, that is known as dy by dx. We call it as slope of the tangent of the curve y is equal to f of x. So let y is equal to f of x be continuous curve and p of x1 y1 be a point on it. Then the slope of the tangent at x1 comma y1 to the given curve y is equal to f of x is dy by dx at x1 comma y1. Okay. Now the first point is, if the tangent at x1 comma y1 is parallel to x-axis, or suppose the given tangent at the given point x1 comma y1 is parallel to x-axis, then dy by dx, slope of the tangent at x1 comma y1 is always 0. If it is parallel to x-axis, then the slope of the tangent is 0. If the tangent at x1 comma y1 is parallel to y-axis means perpendicular to x-axis. If it is parallel to x-axis, then dx by dy at x1 comma y1 is equal to 0. Okay. Or dy by dx at x1 comma y1 is infinity, 1 by 0, infinity. Both are same. Slope of the normal at x1 comma y1. Slope of the normal at x1 comma y1 is minus 1 by dy by dx at x1 comma y. Normal is nothing but perpendicular. Slope of the normal at x1 comma y1 is minus 1 by dy by dx at x1 comma y1, or minus dx by dy. We can also take reciprocal of this, minus dx by dy at x1 comma y1. If the normal at x1 comma y1 is parallel to x-axis, then dx by dy x1 comma y1 is. So normal is parallel to x-axis is dx by dy. Then the dx by dy reciprocal, just we took reciprocal of dy by dx. So dx by dy at x1 comma y1 is equal to 0. Similarly, if the normal at x1 comma y1 is parallel to y-axis, then dy by dx at x1 comma y1 is equal to 0. Equation of tangent and normal. How to write the equation of the tangent at the given point and how to write the equation of the normal at x1 comma y1 at the given point. Equation of the tangent x1 comma y1 to the curve y is equal to f of x is. So this is the slope point form. If the given slope and point, we can write the equation by using slope point form. So this is dy by dx is known as slope and the given point is x1 comma y1. Already you know the slope point form, that is y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x. So the given point is x1 comma y1, y minus y1 is equal to dy by dx at a given point x1 y1 into x minus x1. This equation is called as slope of equation of the tangent. Next, equation of the normal at a px1 comma y1 to the curve y is equal to f of x is. This is also same, but because of normal, we should take the slope as minus 1 divided by dy by dx at the given. And the equation of the form is same, like slope point form. This is the slope, and the slope point form is the given the point, then y minus y1 is equal to minus m is nothing but minus 1 by dy by dx at the given point into x minus x. Slope here normal is minus 1 divided by dy by dx at x1 into x minus x1. This equation is known as equation of the normal. Also we can write y minus y1 is equal to, we can take dy by dx at x1 comma y1 upwards, and we will get minus dx by dy at x1 comma y1 into x minus. This is called the equation of the normal at px1 comma y1 to the curve y is equal to f of x. Next, angle of intersection of the curve. The angle of intersection of the curve is defined as the angle between the tangents drawn at the point. Just we have to find the angle between the tangents to the intersection of the curves. If two curves are intersected, then we can draw the tangents. Just we find the angle between those two tangents. That is known as the angle of the intersection of the curves. Okay, drawn at the point of intersection of the curves. If y is equal to f of x and y is equal to g of x are the equations of the curves, and px1 comma y1 is their point of intersection, then the acute angle theta between the curves is given by tan theta is equal to modulus of m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 into m2. Here, what is m1 and what is m2? m1 is slope of the tangent, slope of the first tangent at x1 comma y1. That is denoted by dy by dx at x1 comma y1. For y is equal to f of x, and m2 is nothing but dy by dx at x1 comma y1. For y is equal to g of x. This is the tangent, this is slope of the tangent for y is equal to f of x, and this m2 is the slope of the tangent for the curve y is equal to g of x. And we have the conditions for orthogonal curve and also the curves touching, which curves touching each other. We have some conditions. The condition for the curve cut orthogonally is m1 into m2 is equal to minus 1. For suppose, if you get two slopes and if you find the product of two slopes, if you are getting minus 1 means those curves are cut orthogonal. Okay. If m1 into m2 is equal to minus 1, then we say that the given two curves are cut orthogonal. For suppose the slopes are equal, the given two slopes of the given two curves are equal, then we say that the two curves touch each other at their common. Next, subtangent and subnormal. The lengths of the subtangent and the subnormal to the curve y is equal to f of x at x1 comma y1 on it are given by subtangent at x1 comma y1 to the curve y1 divided by dy by dx at x1 comma y1. That equal to, we can also write, we can take this dy by dx at upwards y1 into dx by dy at x1 comma y1. Subnormal at x1 comma y1 to the given curve is equal to y1 into dy by dx at x1 comma y. Some time saving results. First one, the condition for the ellipsis. X square by a plus y square by b is equal to 1, and x square by a plus y square by b is equal to 1 to cut orthogonally is a minus b is equal to small a minus small b. Okay. So here orthogonal condition for two ellipses is capital A minus capital B is equal to small a minus small b. Next, orthogonal condition for this type of two ellipses. If the ellipses, given ellipses are in the form of ax square plus by square is equal to 1 and the small ax square plus by square is equal to 1, then the orthogonal condition is, orthogonal condition is 1 by capital A minus 1 by capital B is equal to 1 by small a minus 1 by small b. And orthogonal condition for two hyperbola and one hyperbola. Orthogonal condition for one parabola and hyperbola. Condition for the parabola y square is equal to 4ax and hyperbola xy is equal to c square to cut orthogonally is, just you remember this condition, c to the power 4 is equal to 32 a to the power 4. This is the orthogonal condition for one parabola and hyperbola. Next, the fourth point, condition for the ellipse. x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1 to intersect the parabola y square is equal to kx orthogonally is b square is equal to 2a. Condition for the ellipse x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1 to intersect the parabola y square is equal to kx orthogonally is b square is equal to 2a. And the fifth one, the circle x square plus y square is equal to 2a square. And the hyperbola xy is equal to a square touch each other at a comma a. Okay. Sixth one, subtangent for y square is equal to 4ax at x1 comma y1 is 2x. Subtangent for parabola y square is equal to 4ax at x1 comma y1 is 2x1. And the subnormal for the parabola y square is equal to 4ax at any point on it is 2a. A we should take from this. Next, seventh one, the subnormal for x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1 at x1 comma y1 is b square by a square into modulus x. This is subnormal to the ellipse. And the length of subtangent for this is modulus of a square minus x1 by x. For the curve xy is equal to c square, the subnormal varies as the cube of the ordinate and subtangent varies as abscissa. Subnormal for the hyperbola x square minus y square is equal to a square is equal to abscissa. Once again, ninth point, the subnormal for the hyperbola x square minus y square is equal to a square is equal to abscissa. 10th point, the length of the subtangent at x1 comma y1 for the curve x to the power m into y to the power n is equal to k, where k is a constant, is minus n by m x1. For the curve x to the power m into y to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n, the subtangent at any point varies as the abscissa. In fact, subtangent is equal to minus n by m into x1. 12th point, for the curve ay square is equal to x plus b whole cube, the square of this subtangent varies as the subnormal. In fact, subtangent whole square by Sn means subnormal is equal to 8 by 27 into a. For example, for the curve 4y square, here 4y square means a is 4 in this. 4y square is equal to x plus 3 whole cube. Here b is 3 and a is 4. Then the square of the subtangent in subtangent whole square varies as the subnormal is equal to 8 by 27 into 4, that is equal to 32 by 27. 13th point, for the curve x is equal to a into theta plus sine theta, y is equal to a into 1 minus cos theta, at theta is equal to pi by 2, length of the subtangent is equal to length of the subnormal. For these two parametric equations, these are the parametric equations of the curves. At theta is equal to pi by 2, then length of the subtangent is equal to length of the subnormal. Next, 14th one, the length of the subtangent at any point on y is equal to b e to the power x by a is a. For example, for the curve y is equal to 4 e to the power x by 3, then the subtangent at any point is 3. This is depend upon a value. Next, 15th one, the tangent at p on the curve whose parametric equations are x is equal to f of t and y is equal to g of t is parallel to x-axis if dy by dt at the given point is equal to 0. Once again, the tangent at point P on the curve whose parametric equations are x is equal to f of t and y is equal to g of t is, if parallel to x-axis, then dy by dx at the given point is equal to 0. And if it is parallel to y-axis, dx by dt at the given point is equal to 0. Supposing the equation of the curve is given by f of x comma y is equal to c, that is equation is given in the implicit form, then the equation of the tangent at x1 comma y1 is given by, if the equation of the form f of x comma y is equal to c, then x minus x1 into dou f by dou x at given point x1 comma y1 plus y minus y1 into dou f by dou y at x1 comma y1 is equal to 0. Here dou f by dou x is the derivative of f of x comma y with respect to x treating y with respect to x treating y as constant. This is called the partial derivative of with respect to x. Here tangent will be parallel to x-axis if dou f by dou x is equal to 0. So here in the partial derivative, if dou f by dou x is equal to 0, then tangent will be parallel to x-axis. Or suppose if dou f by dou y is equal to 0, then the tangent will be perpendicular to x-axis. One of the example for this, consider x square plus 3xy plus y square is equal to 5, and the point is 1 comma 1 on it. Then f, this is this is considered as f function f, and dou f by dou x. Dou f by dou x means here y is constant. Okay, just you treat this y as constant, then x square differentiation is 2x, and 3xy differentiation is 3y. Okay, because y is constant and y square differentiation is 0, y 5 differentiation also 0, because we treated y as constant. Then dou f by dou x at 1 comma 1 is 5. Similarly, dou f by dou x means here we are treating dou f by dou y, this is printing mistake. Dou f by dou y with respect to y we are differentiating the function. In this case, x is considered as a constant. So x square differentiation is 0, 3xy differentiation is 3y, and y square differentiation is 2. Here it is printing mistake, 3y plus 2y. And dou f by dou x at 1 comma 1 is 5. Okay. Next. Equation of the tangent at 1 comma 1 is, if we apply slope tangent form. Slope tangent form and slope point form. Slope point form, we know the slope both are same 5 only, and x minus 1 into 5 plus y minus 1 into 5 is equal to 0. We'll get x plus y minus 2 is equal to 0. This is the required equation. Equation of the normal at x1 comma y1 on the curve f of x comma y is equal to c is given by x minus x1 into dou f by dou y x1 comma y1 minus y minus y1 into dou f by dou x at x1 comma y1 is equal to 0. Once again, equation of the normal at x1 comma y1 on the curve f of x comma y is equal to c. Here also we are applying the partial derivative. So this is the condition for partial derivative for the given curve x minus x1 into dou f by dou y at x1 comma y1 minus y minus y1 into dou f by dou x x1 comma y1 is equal to 0. 18th one. The line x by a plus y by b is equal to 2 is always a tangent to the curve x to the power n by a to the power n plus y to the power n by b to the power n is equal to 2 at a comma b for all real values of n. In the above example, normal at 1 comma 1 is x minus, in this example, x minus 1 into 5 minus y minus 1 into y is equal to 0, x minus y is equal to 0. Derivative as a rate method. Next. If s is the displacement of a moving particle at a time t and s is equal to f of t, then the velocity and the acceleration of the particle are given by ds by dt. The rate of change of displacement is denoted by velocity, and acceleration d square by the rate of change of the velocity is denoted by acceleration dt. Next, second point, it is advised to commit the following to memory. In usual notations, area of a square is equal to x square and perimeter is 4x. If x is the side of a square, area is x square and perimeter is 4 into side, that is 4x. Next, second point, area of a rectangle is equal to just length into breadth, that is x into y, and the perimeter of the rectangle is 2 into length into breadth, that is 2 into x plus y. Area of a trapezium is equal to 1 by 2 into sum of the parallel sides into distance between the sides. Next, area of a circle is equal to pi r square. Perimeter, area of the perimeter is equal to, and perimeter of the circle is equal to 2 pi r. Area of the circle is pi r square. Perimeter of the circle is equal to 2 pi r. Volume of a sphere is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. Surface area of the sphere is equal to 4 pi r. Next, volume of a right cone is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square. Total surface is equal to pi r into r plus, whereas its curved surface is pi rl. Curved surface area is pi rl and total surface area of a cone is pi r into r plus l. And the volume of a right cone is 1 by 3 pi r square. Volume of a cylinder is pi r square. Total surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r into r plus, whereas its curved surface area is 2 pi r h. Volume of a cuboid is x into y into z. Length, breadth, height. Surface area of a cuboid is 2 into xy plus yz plus zx. Now, some points regarding increasing and decreasing functions. A function f of x is said to be increasing function within the interval small a comma b, that is a less than x less than b. If x1 greater than x2, then f of x1 greater than f of x2 for all x1, x2 belongs to small interval a comma. And the function f of x is said to be decreasing function in the interval small a comma b, that is a less than x less than b. If x1 greater than x2, then f of x1 less than f of x2. See here, for increasing function, if x1 greater than x2, f of x1 greater than f of x2. For a decreasing function, if x1 greater than x2, f of x1 less than f of x2 for all x1 comma x2 belongs to small interval a comma. Third point, if f dash x greater than 0 for all x belongs to a comma b, we can say that f of x is an increasing function within the interval. If f dash x is less than 0 for all x belongs to a comma b, then f of x is decreasing function in the interval a comma. Okay, f dash x greater than 0 means increasing function, f dash x less than 0 means decreasing function. If f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c and alpha and beta are the roots of the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 and alpha less than beta, then f of x is less than 0, alpha less than x less than beta, and f of x greater than 0, x less than alpha or x greater. So once again, you observe these points, these 4 points, very useful for you. F of x is equal to a to the power x is a decreasing function for 0 less than a less than 1. F of x is equal to a to the power x increasing function for a greater than, decreasing for 0 less than a less than 1, increasing for a greater than. F of x is equal to e to the power x is an increasing function for all x belongs to exponential function. And f of x is equal to x square polynomial function is increasing function for x greater than 0 and a decreasing function for x less than. Okay, this f of x is equal to x square, which is polynomial function increasing for x greater than 0 and it is decreasing for x less than 0. The values, seventh point, the values of x for which f dash x is equal to 0 are called stationary points. Yes, if we find the first derivative of the given function f of x and if we equate to 0, we'll get some points. Those points are called critical points. Critical values or values of x are stationary values of x. The value of x for which f dash x does not exist are called critical points. Next, maxima and minimum. Let's first find the dy by dx for the given function that is known as f dash x and equate to 0, then solve. We'll get some values for x. For example, a, b, c are the values for x. First of all, we have to find the first derivative of the given function and we have to equate to 0. We'll get f dash x is equal to 0. Afterwards, we'll get some values for the x. Then find d square y by dx square f double dash x and its values at x values. We have to verify f double dash a, f double dash b, f double dash c. If f double dash a is less than 0, then f of x attains maximum at x is equal to and the maximum value is f of. Okay. If f double dash, after substituting the critical points in second derivative, f double dash a is greater than 0, then we say that f of x attains minimum at x is equal to a and the minimum value is f of a. Next point, if f double dash a is equal to 0, that is f double dash x is equal to 0 at x is equal to a, then find f triple dash x and find f triple dash a also. If f double dash a is equal to 0 and f triple dash a is equal to not equal to 0, then f of x attains neither maxima nor minima at x is equal to a. In that situation, we call the point is called point of inflection. Next, some time saving results. This of all the triangles of a given perimeter P, the square has the largest area with the length of the side P by 4. For suppose perimeter given, any perimeter is given, for suppose 5, 7, anyone given 5 given, then 5 by 4 is the required answer. Second point, of all the rectangles of the given area A, capital A, in place of capital A, if they given any area measurement, if they given, then the square has the least perimeter with length of the side root, square root of the capital A. Next, third point, of all the rectangles that can be inscribed in a given circle, square has the largest area whose length of the diagonal is the diameter of the circle. See, once again observe this, the rectangles inscribed in a given circle, square has the largest area whose length of the diagonal is the diameter of the circle. Fourth one, a cone of maximum volume that can be inscribed in a sphere of a given radius r is of height 4r by 3. Fifth one, a right circular cylinder that can be inscribed in a sphere of radius r is of height 2 small r by root 3. If f of x is equal to c by g of x, then the maxima or minima of f of x is minima or maxima of g of x, where c is a positive constant. If f of x is equal to g root g of x, where g of x greater than or equal to 0, then the maxima or minima of f of x is the maxima or minima of g of x. So, eighth point, if x is equal to a point of inflection, then f dash a is equal to 0 and f double dash a is equal to 0. But the converse is not. Converse means if for x is equal to a, f dash a is equal to 0 and f double dash a is equal to 0, then x is equal to a need not be a point of inflection. Therefore, the converse is not true in this situation. x is equal to a is a point of inflection of f of x if and only if f dash a is equal to 0 and f double dash a is equal to 0 and f triple dash a is not equal to 0. In this case only x is equal to a is called a point of inflection. Okay, either maxima or minima, that is known as point of inflection. If f dash a is equal to 0, f double dash a is equal to 0, but f triple dash a is not equal to 0. In this case only we say that x is equal to a is the point of inflection. Next, ninth point, f of x is equal to x square plus bx plus c whole divided by x square minus bx plus c, where b comma c greater than 0 attains maximum at x is equal to root c. X is equal to root c. Just we substitute c value in this, that is maximum value. And to get the minimum value, we substitute c value in this. X is equal to minus root c value. That will be minimum value. The maximum and minimum values are given by f of root c and f of minus root c. Afterwards, we substitute in f of x function. Okay, this will be maximum value and minimum value. F of root c and f of minus root c respectively. These are the maximum and minimum values. Increasing in within minus root c comma plus root c. 10th point, x square minus bx plus c by x square plus bx plus c, where b comma c greater than 0 attains minimum at x is equal to root c. Again here we have to substitute c value. And the maximum at x is equal to minus root c. Same. The minimum and the maximum values are given f of root c. To get the minimum value and the maximum value, we have to find the values of f of root c and also f of minus root c respectively. These are decreasing. This is decreasing in minus root c within this interval, minus root c comma plus root c. Next, 11th one, f of x is equal to a e to the power x plus b e to the power minus x, where a b greater than 0 has minimum value equal to 2 root a. For example, minimum value of f of x is equal to 3 e to the power x plus 2 e to the power minus x. Then minimum value of this equal to 2 into root of a into b. A is 3 and b is 2. 3 to the 6. So 2 root 6 is the minimum value of the given function. Next, 12th point, minimum value of a cot x plus b tan x within the interval 0 comma pi by 2 is also 2 root a. 20th, the maximum value of ax square plus bx plus c, where a less than 0 is given by 4ac minus b square by 4a. 21, the length of the width of the greatest rectangle that can be inscribed in an ellipse x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1, or a root 2 and b root 2. For example, the length and breadth of the greatest rectangle which can be inscribed in the ellipse x square by 16 plus y square by 4 is equal to 1. Here a is 4, b is 2. Just you substitute a, b values in a root 2 and b root 2, 4 root 2 and 2 root 2 are the required length and breadth which are the greatest rectangle that can be inscribed in the given ellipse. Okay. Next, the area of an isosceles triangle will be maximum when it is a right angle triangle. Only if it is right angle triangle, then the area of isosceles triangle will be maximum. 23rd, if f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c by ax square plus bx plus c dash attains maximum or minimum at x is equal to minus b by 2a, if c greater than c dash or c less than c dash, the corresponding maximum or minimum values is given by b square minus 4ac by b square minus 4ac dash. For example, 3x square plus 4x plus 7, 3x square plus 4x plus 3 attains a maximum x is equal to minus 4 by 6. Then that is equal to minus 2 by 3. B square minus 4ac is equal to b square minus 4ac by b square minus 4ac b square minus 4ac by b square minus 4ac dash is equal to 16 minus 84 by 16 minus 36. That is equal to 17 by 5. So 2x square plus 5x plus 4 by 2x square plus 5x plus 5 tens minimum at x is equal to minus 4 by 5. Here a is c is 4 and c dash is 5. X is equal to minus 4 by 5. 4 is less than 5. Here 7 is greater than 3. So the maximum value is obtained. Here it tends minimum at x is equal to minus 4 by 5. 4 is less than 5. Minimum value is equal to same b square minus 4ac by b square minus 4ac dash. If you apply this, we get 7 by 50. Okay. Thank you, students.